It's time for an Out and About with Jamie Grout Shortcast, and with me to my right is Newton School Superintendent Tom Messenger. Tom, thank you so much for joining us today.
You bet.
We appreciate that. Let's talk about the Iowa legislature, which has mandated that school systems need to do something about cell phones, and how is the Newton School District addressing that?
Yes, with the legislation passing, the very first thing that schools did was they had to put a cell phone policy in their board policy book by July 1st. Most schools that I'm aware of, at least the ones around us, they did just use the policy that was put out from the Iowa Association of School Boards, which says that cell phones cannot be used during instructional time during the school day. Here, the instructional time is identified as a time from the start of the school day to the end of the school day, and the students are asked to put the cell phones away, keep them out of sight. There will be spots provided for students if the student would rather have somebody else hold on to it during the day. The law also did lay out the specific consequences that come along with that, and that's in board policy as well. So we've had cell phone policies in the past. This puts it in a little bit more of a formal state since it's in the board policy book.
Did you start this last year, or is this new this year?
We have had a cell phone policy in place, like most schools, farther back than when I was here. But the actual board policy now with all of this took effect, I believe June. The second board meeting in June was when it had its final reading. So it's from July 1st on, it's in effect.
So the kids come in the school district, and this is for all the grades, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so they have to give them to the teacher then, or they put in a bag or a lock, or how does that work?
At West Academy, there's a lockable bag they'll be asked to put them in. At the other buildings, kids are being told you either have to keep it in your backpack, in your locker. It can't be out on the desk or anything like that. Mm-hmm. If a student does use that, then what happens is the cell phone does get taken away from the student and returned to the student on the first offense, and beyond that first offense, and the parent has to come in and get that.
Okay. One thing we want to talk about too is AI. How are teachers and administrators at the schools addressing that?
That's an ongoing dialogue and conversation with folks, because it is something that to a lot of people, a lot of adults, especially people my age, that's a completely new concept that you really had not dealt with much. So it's taking some of the different things that educators have done in the past to check for plagiarism, where you're essentially putting a kid's paper into the computer and looking to see if it has any matches out there, to now there are different tools that can be used to say, is this this kid's writing style, or what percent, or what are the odds that it was created through AI. Biggest thing is, getting to know the kids and doing a lot of monitoring of work all along. So what the students' abilities are, what their work product is like. But then the other piece is teaching kids the appropriate uses of AI. We don't want any of our kids thinking that AI is the answer to everything, but it definitely does have its uses that we can all benefit from.
Mm-hmm. And you want to teach the kids about critical thinking. That's very important.
Being a former math teacher, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think that AI is not a substitute for everything.
We have just a little time left, Tom, and we discussed this briefly on the longer form podcast, but you guys work really hard to keep the schools safe, and it kind of fits in with the building construction that's going on right now. Tell us about that.
Yes, two of our elementary buildings that are being remodeled will have the double door vestibules, so that you won't enter in from the outside and go straight to the halls. You'll enter in from the outside door and then go into the office space, similar to what our middle school is. Mm-hmm. That is a recommended guideline for school safety. And then some of the other things, making sure that we're monitoring our doors. We do have a computer system that'll even tell us if our doors are propped open or held ajar for a period of time. So yeah, I mean, that is something that we think about and I guess I would say even worry about on a regular basis. You never want to just kind of sit back and take safety for granted. You always have to be making sure that you're checking up on some of those things and double checking to make sure that we are providing a safe environment for everybody's kids.
You bet. Newton School Superintendent Tom Messenger, a guy who I'm sure beams with red pride.
Absolutely love my job every day.
You bet. Thanks for chatting with us.
You bet. Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout video shortcast. Make sure if you want more information that you check out the long form podcast, which is available on outandaboutwithjamiegrout.com, Spotify, along with Apple Podcasts and, of course, iHeart Podcasts and all the other platforms too. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.